Welcome back to Gillette Soccer Special, a mixed night for the Premier League teams. Arsenal 3-0 winners over Monaco. They're looking good for the last 16. Manchester City, where do they go from here? They are facing a real uphill battle now. They've lost 2-0 away to Juventus. We'll talk about that in a moment, the repercussions. Let's just run you through all the full times, though, in the Champions League tonight. AC Milan, thanks to Tammy Abraham's late winner, beating Red Star by 2-1. Good night for Arsenal. A couple of goals for Saka, and he was involved in the third later on as well for Kai Havertz. Atletico Madrid beating Slovan Bratislava. Griezmann with a couple, Julian Alvarez with the other. Barcelona winning a great game in Dortmund by 3-2. Ferran Torres, the former Manchester City man, with both, or 2 goals in that one, as they won by 3-2. 5 straight Champions League wins for Barca. Benfica and Bologna, the only goalless game of the night. Feyenoord beating Sparta Prague 4-2. So 3 goals at the Etihad, 4 tonight for them in that win. Manchester City losing by 2-0. 7 defeats in the last 10 games. Juventus winning that one, a big boost to their hopes of a top 8 finish. Lille up into the top 8 and going great guns. One of the surprise packages this year. They've beaten Sturm Graz 3-2, and Stuttgart thrashing Young Boys by 5-1. 6 successive defeats for the Swiss champions. And this is how the table looks with 2 games remaining, both of those in January. Looking very good for Liverpool, all but they're on 18 points. Remember, the left-hand column will qualify automatically for the last 16. Barcelona, Arsenal in third, one of a number of teams on 13 points, along with Leverkusen, Aston Villa, Inter Milan, Brest, who were an amateur club not that long ago, and Lille. So they're heading through as it stands with 2 to play. Then in the middle is the teams that would need a knockout playoff round in February, a home and away situation. You've got the likes of Dortmund and Bayern, Atletico and AC Milan, Atalanta, the Serie A leaders, Juventus, Benfica and Monaco, Sporting, Feyenoord, Bruges. We're getting down the list now to find Real Madrid, the holders. Celtic are in there. Manchester City have dropped to 22nd. PSV and Dinamo Zagreb, all those sides just 1 point above the elimination zone, where you once again find PSG. And who do they play next? In Paris in January, Manchester City. That will be huge for both those sides. The losing team in that one will go into match day 8 in danger of possible elimination at the first hurdle. PSG, the biggest side in that column on the right-hand side there. So that is the state of play with 2 games to go in the Champions League. I almost can't quite believe, Lee Hendry, you can see Manchester City, the Premier League champions, actually in danger of possibly falling at the first hurdle in Europe. What went wrong tonight specifically?
Do you know what? The more I watch them, I find they're really predictable in the way that they approach games. I think that's where teams are sort of figuring them out. I think Juventus are Juventus. You know, they haven't scored many goals, don't score loads of goals. They defend well. You know, they make it hard for teams and they counter-attack. And if I was Ruben Amorim watching that game tonight, I would try and literally carbon copy what Juventus did. I really would. I'd make it hard. I'd force balls out. Why? Because what's the point in having the likes of Doku on the pitch if he's not going to deliver crosses in the box? I'm watching the game and they're 2-0 down and they're still trying to look for that little perfect pass. The confidence it's just not there for them to do that. Get back to basics, get your fullbacks getting hard at the pitch, give the support, let's put balls in the box, let's try something a little bit different that's going to break a side down. Juventus loved it. Any balls that was chipped in behind, they're heading balls, they're jumping around like there's, like they've won the game already. And then you flip it to the way that they counter-attack Juventus, and that's where there's always a danger. And I don't even think Juventus were that great. They just dug in, they worked hard, they made it hard for them at times, they forced it out wide, and it suited them. Once that goal went in, it was like game over. I said to Merce, they won't get a goal here because I just couldn't see where they were going. They bring on Nunes. I don't know why. I don't know what he brings to the side. I really don't. And, that's not being harsh to him, but he brings him on out wide. What is he going to do? He's not going to run by someone. He's not going to pick someone out. And then Savinho comes on and does absolutely nothing. Grealish goes off. It was one of them performances that I just felt was predictable. And I think that the longer this run goes on, I think it's the harder it's going to get for them.
They've conceded 2 or more goals in the last 7 away games in a row. They've lost 7 in 10 games or competitions, as many as in their previous 105 matches. Manchester Derby at the weekend. Is a derby match The perfect possible game they could play or the worst possible game they could have right now?
I think being at home could be tough for them because I think everyone's starting to look at City like they have done in this horrible run that they're on and think that they can go and get something. You know, Ruben Amorim's had a win against him, hasn't he, in the Champions League? So he's going to know what he's coming up against. I'm not sure he's going to know the feeling of that Manchester derby, but listen, as I said, if he can be compact and be hard to break down, I think they've got a threat in behind, which we know what these derby games can turn out to be. You know, they can be tight. It can be one goal that can go and win it. And I think United will go into the game thinking, well, you know what, the pressure's on City. So I think it'll suit Man United going there. I still think City will beat them, but I've been saying this for the last few weeks, and unfortunately, they haven't been producing.
Merce, it's not a couple of games now. This is a bigger sample size of Manchester City losing games. And you know, you've all been saying the confidence has gone in the players. We keep saying, oh, Pep Guardiola, look what he's done in the game. He'll find a solution. He'll find the answer. We're 10 games into this run now. Are you starting to wonder whether he will find a solution?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, well, I'm just saying to the lads, if you was on holiday and you was reading a book and it said Man City, when you're reading it, win 1 in 10 and lose 7, you'd throw the book in the sea. You'd go, oh, who's making this up? I mean, it's mind-blowing. I mean, who would have ever thought this in their wildest dreams? You know, but a couple of players here and there, I don't know. It's a big turnaround. I said the other week, I said it on Super Sunday, this will be his biggest success. If he wins the league this year with his team, this will be his biggest success, in my opinion, because where they are at the moment, it is low. It's low, and he's got to pick these players up. And I know it's a Manchester derby, but without being horrible, this hasn't been their biggest game over the last few years. Now, all of a sudden, this is a huge football match.
Let's have a word with you about the game you watched tonight. Very different emotions at the Emirates. A 3-0 win for Arsenal. They're looking good for that top 8 finish. What did you make of the performance tonight?
Solid, good. I mean, there'll be a lot of proud people at Arsenal tonight, but the academy people at Arsenal to bring people through like Saka, Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri, you know, playing young kids playing in Champions League, especially when you're talking about a team of this magnitude, Arsenal. You know, it's hard now, and to do that, they should be very proud of themselves. They both play. You wouldn't know they were kids. Yeah, honestly, Lewis Skelly gave the ball away once just before he come off, and he was unlucky with that. And then Nwaneri comes on and just plays and gets on the ball. Yeah, real credit. You know, done really well. There'll be a lot of proud people there, and fair play to them. Comfortable win. Good night's work.
And a clean sheet for a defence that was a long way off their first choice.
Yeah, ride their luck a bit. I thought they threatened a little bit. You know, Mbola should have scored, definitely, when Saliba gives the ball away and Minamino puts him in. He should hit the target. But bar that, didn't really open Arsenal up. So it was a good night. You know, it's Champions League. You know, people will be watching Arsenal now. You know, when you're looking in Europe, you look at results. They've gone to Sporting Lisbon and won 5, come back and beat a Monaco team that hurt teams. They will hurt teams because of the way they can play. So it's a message to the rest of Europe.
Yeah, well, that's probably their biggest challenge left. They've got Dinamo Zagreb at home, and then they go to Girona.
Yeah. Well, Girona probably won't. They won't probably need anything, which makes it even better.
Merce, thanks very much indeed. A good night's work for Arsenal. Saka with a couple more goals, and Havertz with the final goal of the night.